What's goody in the hoodie? What's up, y'all? What's up? They made me work today at work. Don't y'all hate that when y'all go to work and y'all be like, why I gotta work? Gas is already a lot. I'm not one of those luxurious remote workers that just can roll out of my bed. It's just, it's real out here, but it is what it is. I am grateful to have employment. I am definitely that. I'm definitely spoiled though. What did I do today? I worked out. I ate Chipotle with my husband. And yeah, my dog was hanging out, rolling around. She's like obsessed with eating sticks and stuff like that. But yeah, nothing too exciting that's going on. Just a normal workday week, The news, there was a lot of news. There was still the battle of the BET Awards. That story where the son defended his mother in that restaurant, that's been like a trending topic. So I talked about this yesterday, but this mother, she was in this restaurant. She got into it with this man. The man, and this is some hood lingo, he cocked her. That means he rolled his fist back, popped her twice in the face, and then the son shot him. Her 14-year-old son shot him. And everybody was in an uproar. There was men saying the woman was acting masculine. That's the new buzzword for women these days. There was women saying that why didn't any of the men in the restaurant break it up, which I agree with that assessment. I know that if my son saw somebody hit me, he would do the exact same thing. I mean, I don't fault the boy for what he did, but I also know as a mother, I wouldn't want my son to have to do that because I wouldn't want to risk my son's life, meaning prison, or if the man would have retaliated. So it's a sticky situation all around. The DA, the prosecutor, though, she dropped the charges. She did not move forward with charging them. So that says that, it was self-defense. So, a lot of people are in an uproar about that. That's been like a trendy topic to talk about. Like I said, it's unfortunate all around because people lost their life. The man that hit her, he had 2 daughters. There's rumors that the man was in the closet, but you never know. When people tell stories, there's a lot of stuff that gets added and left out. But the moral of the story is the lady did not get charged, neither did her son. And we still live in a society where people rather film people for fun instead of help them out, which is very, very unfortunate. Because all of it could have been averted for real. It's definitely sad and unfortunate. But yeah, that's the world we live in. People like to film death and film fights instead of helping out. Let's get into the other news. So the lady in Florida, the woman that was accused of shooting her black neighbor through the door, she will be prosecuted for manslaughter and 1 count of assault, but they had insufficient evidence to make a murder case against her. So officials say they can't win a murder case. So let's listen to what they're saying.
It's been nearly a month since an Ocala mother was shot and killed by her neighbor. Now, Marion County State Attorney William Glasson has decided how his office will move forward with their case against Susan Lorenz. The 58-year-old will face 1 count of manslaughter with a firearm and 1 count of assault for the death of A.J. Owens. Investigators say Lorenz shot and killed Owens through a door in early June. One of Owens' 4 children was there when it happened. The mother tried confronting the neighbor for allegedly throwing a skate at her child. Lorenz was arrested on charges of manslaughter with a firearm, culpable negligence, battery, and 2 counts of assault. But Owen's family, attorneys, and Ocala groups have pushed to upgrade the manslaughter charge to murder. In a letter on Monday, the state attorney said there just wasn't enough evidence to file murder. He said in part, "The state must prove beyond reasonable doubt that the existence of a depraved mind toward the victim at the time of the killing. Depraved mind requires evidence of hatred, spite, ill will, or evil intent." He says after the arrest, Owen's son testified that the skate thrown by the neighbor did not hit him, which would have been necessary for a battery charge. He also says another child testified he was not in fear, which is why the second count of assault was left out. Misdemeanor culpable negligence was not filed because the state attorney said in part, there is no evidence to establish that Lorenz knew the child was with Owens when she shot her. Emotions have been running high since Owen's death. The state attorney has been aware of them and says the goal is to seek justice. But he adds in part, "My obligation is to follow the law. I did so in this case, and while some may not agree with the decision, I can assure you it was thoughtful and made without consideration of any factors other than the specific facts of this terrible crime."
So there you have it. I'm sure though this will be politicized, but they are not going to charge her, which a lot of people kind of felt like that because it's a whole stand your ground thing, and I don't know, it's crazy. So far this year, 7 people have died in surf zone incidents in Panama City Beach, which in the most for any U.S. city is a lot. So be careful of the rip currents, guys. It is a lot of repeat news today. The armed revolt may be an opportunity for Kyiv, but Vladimir Putin's woes and vulnerability could also prove to make him more dangerous. He's going to punish the people that were part of that Wagner stuff. The CDC has issued a health alert to doctors and public health authorities and members after documenting 5 cases of malaria acquired within the U.S. over the last 2 months. That's fun. Taylor Swift urges her fans to exercise kindness on the internet to the men they speculate her songs are written about. Taylor, why don't you stop making songs about your exes? There have been reports of alleged forced labor uses, human rights violations, and potentially hazardous materials in clothing at Shein. The fast fashion giant's attempt to clear up negative reports about its factory resulted in more skepticism. Shein, them clothes are cheap, but y'all gotta know with cheap clothes comes cheap labor. The story is not shocking at all. Let's see. So my beautiful Patti LaBelle forgot some of Tina Turner's lyrics to Simply the Best, which is not shocking. It can happen to the best of us. I mean, y'all only know the chorus. Don't come for her because she is like 79 years old. And I know I don't know all the words to that song. So, there you have it. Chris Kobach has asked federal judge to allow state officials to bar people from changing their birth certificates, a move designed to force a sweeping statewide anti-trans law. It's politics season, so everybody's going to come out with all their cool, nifty little things they're going to try to do here. You know how that go. Y'all know how that go. Let's see what else. I'm multitasking here. The news is kind of repeating itself a lot. Prosecutors will pursue the death penalty against the man charged in the quadruple murder of the 4 Idaho college students. I know I did also read that the Colorado Club Q shooter was also sentenced to life. That was quiet. Angela Bassett will receive an honorary Oscar at this year's Governor Awards, which Angela Bassett should have been had an Oscar. She's like a very powerful actress, so They're absolutely righting it wrong. Netflix is trash. For real. Because the movies they got on there for what they trying to charge and do, y'all gotta do better. Yeah, Club Q. A 14-year-old fell ill and ultimately died in extreme heat while he was hiking Saturday in Texas at Big Bend National Park. Lots of murder and mayhem still, parties, this, that. Yeah. Y'all know how the news be doing. Let's see what else we got. I'm laughing because me and my husband was talking about the song, No More Sausages, Mom, Please. And he was like, where are you singing that song from? If you guys don't know, that's DOS Effects. That's how old I am. Bum, siggly, bum, bum. Yeah. You guys don't. Google it. It's a great song. So the Michael Jackson molestation allegations by Wade Robson will go to trial. They still coming after Michael. Michael Jackson would effectively be tried for allegedly molesting choreographer Wade Robson when he was a child. TMZ has learned the California Court for Appeal just cleared the way for Robeson to make his case, alleging MJ molested him at the Neverland Ranch when he was between 7 and 14. The issue: Robeson is suing Michael Jackson's corporation, MJJ. Jackson's company's lawyer argued the company had no legal duty to protect Robeson or anyone from MJ because it had no ability to control him. The trial bought the estate's argument, but the court appeal begs to differ, and according to tentative ruling, which almost always becomes final, the case will be sent back down for trial. Olsen claims that when he came to the U.S. from Australia as a young boy, Jackson befriended him and sexually abused him. In 2005, when Jackson was on trial for molesting another boy, Robeson testified that he slept in MJ's bed with the singer, but nothing happened. He changed the story in 2013, filing a lawsuit against the company. He said he had testified falsely on behalf of Jackson due to complete manipulation and brainwashing. Another man, James Safechuck, filed a similar lawsuit against MJJ Productions, and it too is before the court appeal. Given Tuesday's tentative ruling, it appears Safechuck will also have his day in court. Sources close to MJJ Productions' legal team tell TMZ the ruling has nothing to do with merits of the case, and they fully expect to prevail at trial. So yeah, listen, I don't know why Michael was even hanging out with them kids, for real. It's really silly. So Cardi B and Offset I don't know, the internet convinced Offset that Cardi was cheating on him. He said, my wife effed another man on me. Y'all know how I come. And so Cardi B publicly ripped Offset a new one after the Migos rapper announced to the world. If you missed the post in the least, that's what he said. Clearly peeved by his post, Cardi lashed out on Twitter Spaces only hours later, denying the claims and saying even if she wanted to cheat on Offset, it's next to impossible because she's just too famous. She even went as far as to say she smacked Offset upside the head with a bottle if he made the claims to her face. Cardi referred to Offset as the countryman to her followers and even alluded to him suffering from some sort of downward spiral. What's not clear is where Cardi and Offset's marriage currently stands, but things don't seem great. Cardi was conspicuously absent from Offset's side at the BET Awards last night, which was an emotional gut-wrencher after he publicly reconciled with Quavo to pay tribute to Takeoff. Cardi also stayed home for Offset's big Paris Fashion Week. As for fans, they're largely on Cardi's side. Offset's infidelities have their own storyline at this point, and many people think the only thing he deserves is a tiny violin. I mean, they've been through some stuff. You know, somebody said, like, you shouldn't even get back with a man that cheats on you, because cheating and overcoming that in a relationship is really hard because you really don't ever trust each other. Like, shout out to those that make it past it. I know I wouldn't be able to. It's very crazy. Dennis Rodman was at Pride Week in a skirt, which is, I don't know why that's making news. Like, Dennis Rodman's been cross-dressing since forever. The Barbie movie's still coming out. I don't know why I'm so not interested in seeing that movie. Like, for real, it does nothing for me. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, same old, guys. Let's see what they were talking about on Reddit. See what these people are over here chatting about. I mean, people definitely, it's a lot going on, but a lot of this news is so repetitive. It's like the same story, just different people. Let's see what the women, they popped up first. Ask women. Ask a woman. Is it possible for a woman to pee into a toilet while standing up? Yes, but it's not good for you to do that. But of course, we can't sit on the toilet. You gotta squat a little bit. Yeah, I've done it several times, but it ain't hard. What made you want to get married? Dating is kind of trash. Marriage is hard, but I feel like dating is almost trashier. Someone said, I wanted to get married to my husband now because I wanted to experience life with him as a partner. He also doesn't agree with those specific culture, gender roles. We have those in our culture too. We don't agree with them. Blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. How would you help a man who's suffering from an abusive woman? That's hard. One thing I've learned with men that are in abusive relationships is they kind of are stuck in them. They almost, it's kind of like some kind of mommy, like they almost like to be mothered. It's kind of weird. Somebody said I try to talk him out to get him from the outside perspective. If the abuse is getting physical, I advise him to document it and go to the police. I'd probably show him a Lifetime movie. There are actual, I'm not trying to be funny, there are Lifetime movies with women that beat their husbands. It happens more often than you think. Let's see what the Redditors are talking about. What makes you feel old? The song that I was just talking about. Like, and the new, like, the BET Awards made me feel really old because I have no idea who these kids are. These new singers, Scarlett, and I don't even know half. I think I'm done at Ice Spice. This is the newest, and I still don't really know. Oh, I know You Thought I Was Feeling You, and literally I only know these songs from TikTok. Like, when I see TikTok songs and then I hear them on the radio, I never knew they were actual real songs. So music makes me feel old because I see all these young kids at the awards and I'm like, who the heck are these kids? So I'm at that age yet. I'm at that age now. If you can erase your memory of one TV show and rewatch it fresh, what would it be? The Sopranos. I rewatch that show. And the Golden Girls. Everybody Loves Raymond. I never got into that show. Futurama, never got into that show. A lot of y'all are picking some crazy stuff. I tried to get into Better Call Saul. I really could not. I tried, and I'll try again. I keep trying, but it's hard. A lot of the stuff y'all watching is trash that I would never even watch. Somebody said Breaking Bad. Yeah, I like Breaking Bad. What We Do in the Shadows. That's a funny vampire show. But a lot of this stuff, Doctor Who, like, come on, y'all. Arrested Development was funny, but the last season was really trash, y'all. Y'all gotta admit that. That last season sucked. The men aren't really talking about anything. I was just reading these topics. Yeah. Let's get into story time. I got some stuff for y'all.
3 wives in your family right now. Give me 3. Give me 3 wives.
Name 3 wives.
Give me 3 wives. If you can't name me 3 wives you know personally in your family that got your blood running through their veins, fuck you. Fuck off. Don't say shit else to me. Name 3.
That's fair. I'm trying to think of 3 of my own.
Name 3 wives. How the fuck do you know? We good? Case closed? You know 3 wives?
Should have been talking shit.
Should have been talking shit. Shut the fuck up.
They seem very angry. In my family, 3 wives. Can y'all name 3 wives in your family? I know 3 people that's been married. I mean, if you were to include my husband's family, yeah, I guess. But yeah, a lot of people just ain't getting married no more, so I get it. But they were very angry about that. Interesting. Let's see what else we got going on here.
Michael wasn't having any of that, so he decided to see. And so the deputy
going to one of my really good friends' houses. We're gonna karaoke and sit on her back porch and just hang out. I'm in such a good mood, guys. Can you tell? Can anybody tell? I'm so excited that I'm off work for like ever. Dang near it. Okay, Michael, will you pick the dogs up? All done. What do you guys think? I hope y'all all have a great Friday night. And I will either see y'all super early in the morning before I go to the zoo or tomorrow night when I get home. I hope y'all all have a great night. Be safe, whatever you're doing. We're going to be safe. And I will talk to y'all later. Thank y'all so much for watching. I love y'all. Bye, guys.
A bit after this live, Marley and Michael left to go to Brooks and Jim's house. Not a single person there had even the slightest clue that this night could potentially be their last. I can guarantee that up until a certain point, not one of them had that thought anywhere in their mind. Well, anyway, after arriving to the Harrell's house, everyone began drinking and having some fun, doing karaoke and other things. Marley was specifically having a great night and even took this picture with Mowry. The only thing was that Michael was also drinking, but not like everyone else. He was really drinking, and it got to the point where he started to become belligerent and very angry and combative. Marley and friends didn't like how Michael was acting, and so they were actively discouraging it. Marley, quickly thinking, took Michael's truck keys in order to try and keep him from taking the truck. She didn't want him driving drunk and potentially harming someone on the road. And so the deputies had to use a taser. Michael wasn't having any of that, and so he decided to secretly go to his truck and grab a .40 caliber handgun he kept inside, and he then went back to the party, concealing it. Next, he went to the back porch where everyone else was hanging out. Marley had just recently quit smoking, but clearly what Michael was doing this night was stressing her out, and so she decided to have a cigarette at about 11:30 a.m. Michael saw Marley smoking, and in a fit of rage, absolutely lost it. He walked up to her and knocked the cigarette out of her mouth. Marley then went to pick it up off of the ground, but Michael shot her in the chest, killing her. Jim Harrell saw this happen and immediately tried to go to Marley's aid, but Michael then shot him, killing him. Brooks Harrell, Jim's wife, then tried to go to Jim's aid, but Michael shot her twice, wounding her badly. Mowry Suggs and Amber Garrard were outside when this happened, and they witnessed it. Immediately, with quick thinking, they went inside the house, went upstairs, and ran into the Harrell's young son's room, and this was after Amber was shot at. The young son was 10 years old and sleeping at the time. Mowry and Amber felt like they needed to try and protect him, so they grabbed the boy, and all 3 of them got into the closet, and they called 911. By the time the deputies arrived to the house, they found Marley and Jim dead. Brooks was very badly injured, and they were going to transport her via helicopter to the hospital. But while she was in the ambulance to get to the helicopter, she ended up passing away. Michael wasn't at the house when police arrived, but within a bit of time, he returned. He claimed that he had no idea what happened, but Mallory and Amber told the police that it was Michael who was responsible. He then tried to run away from the scene, and so the deputies had to use a taser to stop him. Next, Michael was arrested, and this case was pretty cut and dry from the beginning, so an investigation wasn't exactly hard. 8 months later, on November 18th of 2019, at 30 years old, Michael Barnhill pleaded guilty for murder and was sentenced to serve 3 life terms plus 20 years in prison. The 20 years in prison is for trying to shoot Amber. Originally, he was pleading not guilty, but he changed his plea to guilty as part of a plea agreement with the district attorney's office. Michael was originally indicted for capital murder, and he could have potentially got the death sentence, but his life got spared. At least we know that he'll be rotting away exactly where he belongs. Both Brooks and Jim Harrell were born in Greenwood, Mississippi, living not too far from each other. They both graduated from Kruger Chula Academy and then went to separate colleges. Brooks was a registered nurse and worked for the Greenwood LaFleur Hospital and the Greenwood Orthopedic Clinic. They had 2 children together, both boys. Jim was a licensed professional land surveyor and also co-owned a business with his brother Trent for 10 successful years. Both Brooks and Jim loved the Lord, church, music, and the people at the church they attended, or Kruger Baptist Church. They were active members here, and Brooks played the bass guitar and sang, while Jim played guitar for their praise team. Both of them also taught children in the preschool department. Jim loved hunting and fishing and spent a lot of hours together with his 2 boys. He was an assistant coach for his youngest son's baseball team. Brooks was 39 years old and Jim was 44. They were great parents and overall great friends who put their lives on the line in an attempt to help their good friend. They're heroes in my book and deserve recognition. And so does Mallory Suggs and Amber Garrard. What they did was incredibly selfless, and the immediate thought about trying to save the hair.
That was a crazy story. So the dude just snapped and freaking killed his wife for just being a drunk idiot. Like, and I don't even blame it on alcohol. You had to have had that in you.
Very rough years.
Yeah.
Like, y'all will never know the full extent of how rough of some years that we had to get here.
That's right.
Right? If y'all hadn't been witness to it, y'all would be like, ain't no way Tab and Jen still together. And it ain't no way. Right? Some things ain't y'all business. But we went through a lot to get to this happy, peaceful, joyful place in our marriage. And some of those rejections weren't just of nah, babe, I don't feel like it. It was, what is wrong with you? You don't see me. Like, it became headbutt arguments. Terrible arguments because you feel invisible to your partner, which caused a lot of layers of fear
and damage,
right?
Yeah.
That can take 6 years to unpack.
And damage works both ways.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't work where it's just a male or a female thing. And that's what I think I came to terms with in me expressing to her how I got to that point.
Yeah, marriage ain't no joke, y'all. Like I said, relationships are hard. Proceed with caution.
Things your dermatologist tells you at your visit that might surprise you. Number 1, when you say, I'm going to put Neosporin on my biopsy site or any cut or wound or burn you might get, we usually say, nope, don't do it. Neosporin has neomycin, which is a common allergen that can cause blistering reactions and mimic a skin infection when you actually don't have an infection. So yes, neomycin can be an effective antibiotic that prevents bacterial infections. You actually don't need it. All you need is plain old petrolatum. Whether it's a cut or a wound, I use this on my kids and myself and then cover with a Band-Aid after you cleanse the wound with soap and water. Which brings me to my next point. Don't use alcohol or hydrogen peroxide to cleanse your wound. All you need is plain old soap and water. Next, don't use any cuticle trimmers, clippers, and don't push your cuticle back because Your cuticles are there for a reason. Your cuticles are there to protect your proximal nail fold from any microbes going in, viruses, fungi, bacteria. Have you ever seen your finger all red, swollen, hot, painful? This is called acute paronychia, where you have bacteria sneaking in through the proximal nail fold because there's no cuticle to protect it. So don't touch your cuticles. Yellow nails does not automatically mean toenail fungus, but this is actually an example of onychomycosis, or a fungal infection of the toenail. I usually tell people this is one of the hardest things to treat in dermatology: hair loss and toenail fungus. If you commit to treatment topically, you have to commit to at least a year of treatment a lot of times, because it takes a whole year to grow a new toenail. There are oral antifungals you can talk to your doctor about. One, for example, would take 12 weeks of treatment, but talk to them about the side effects that might be associated with the oral treatments, especially the liver risk. If you have chronic back pain or chronic abdominal pain, be very careful with using heat packs, hot packs, and falling asleep with them, because you can get this condition called erythema ab igni. This can be permanent discoloration. You see that net-like discoloration? I see this all the time. People using a laptop on their lap, using a space heater that's hitting a particular area of your leg. Over time, this might fade if you stop the heat source, but there is a small risk of developing a squamous cell carcinoma skin cancer in the hyperpigmented area. Irish Spring smells nice, but dermatologists don't like this because it is so harsh on your skin. It just strips away all the natural oils in your skin. It can cause a flare of eczema, just really dry, itchy skin. We don't want that. Hope this helps. Peace.
Well, dang. So he said instead of Neosporin, we should be using Vaseline, y'all. And soap and water and all the stuff we thought we needed, you know. I mean, peroxide got me through some trying times, I ain't gonna lie.
I had two perfect women and I messed it up.
Okay.
My first one was my baby mother, Ornetta.
Wow.
And then I met Shawnee. Shawnee was also a perfect one and I messed it up.
Really?
Yeah, we were always young and I was just doing dumb stuff. But, the good thing about our relationship is that they forgave me. And we have a good relationship now. But when you ask me about the perfect women, I had two perfect women and I messed it up just by, being dumb. I tell my sons all the time, a man has three jobs when it comes to a woman: protect, provide, and love. Some men can only offer two for whatever reason.
Right.
But I'm going to teach you how to offer all three.
Right.
And that's what I try to do. And even though I don't have a relationship with the women that I let get away, I will always PPL, protect, provide, whatever they need, they get it from me. Shawnee's married. I'm happy for her. I hope this gentleman treats her the way she's supposed to be treated. And I'm going to still love her. And she's still my wife. I will always protect, provide, and love for her, married or not.
Well, how does that change, though? Because once you add someone else to the equation, is that a conversation you have first?
No, it's just how I was raised.
Right.
You protect, you provide, and you love your woman.
So that's Shaq Diesel, the man who's very rich. But Shaq, I've seen him talking about this a couple of times, how he fumbled these women. And I mean, do y'all feel sorry for him? I mean, I've seen him also hook up with some of the trashiest little women, little jump-offs, too. I mean, Shaq, I don't know, brother. I don't feel sorry for you, because you're rich, and you should do better. There's still time. Some women will love his big butt.
Okay, so I am with the policia now. I just want to let everybody see I am with the policia. So I don't know if I'm safe because I'm waiting to be able to go. I need to leave and go home. And so I'm with the policia. There's the security for Yucatan Country Club.
So this American lady, she's in Meridian, Mexico, and she lived there for 2 years, and she's trying to move back home, and she's saying that she's being held captive on the resort she's at by the landlord. Like, they won't let her leave. They want $10,000, and I don't know. It's the strangest story. I got several story times about this. Let me play one more, but it's kind of really confusing.
I just wanted to address everyone talking about how I added information on the GoFundMe in the videos. You don't have to send money. Honestly, I don't know if we were to get all the money together and give it to them, if that would even do anything, because the whole situation is crazy and it's weird and it's scary. But I told my cousin Bernadette, yeah, I don't have money, but all I can do is really share. And I think it's a very important story to tell. Whether or not you believe it's true or that these things can even possibly happen, they do. And I just wanted to share her story. Maybe it'll reach the right person. Maybe it'll help somebody else. We still don't really have a solution. I'm just the middleman. I don't have all the answers. All I can share is what she has shared with me. And I'm just trying to get the word out, and I'm trying to help her.
So I don't know what's happening with that story, y'all. But literally, yeah, her cousin, according to her, is stuck in Mexico. So there were my thoughts of that. I mean, I haven't heard this before, but I know a lot of Americans do live in Mexico. It's strange. It's a strange story.
The men will sit there and play with you. They know that you're less experienced. That's why they're going for you. Don't go with the, oh, he says I'm so mature for my age. Bull. That is total bull. He's just going for you because you have less experience, and it's going to be easy for him to manipulate you, and that's the truth. And I'm not saying all older guys are like that, but 8 out of 10 are like that.
So she's talking about young girls that date older guys and manipulation. I mean, that could be true. You have to pay attention.
So part 3 of how to tell if your man is DL, tips for black women, because I feel like I need to specify, because I'm speaking on black men for the most part. So we're just going to say tips for black women. Now this should be obvious, but I don't think that it is. So if your man wants you to go to his back door for anything, I'm going to tell you to question it. Where did he try that at? Especially when it's more than just using, like maybe your mouth. When you start inserting, ask yourself how you got to that point where you, like, what are you doing? Like, are you a man now? Like, you understand, like, how did you get to that point? How did he get to that point? Ask yourself that. And as far as his homeboys go, when he's going through it, does he need to go to them to calm down? Is his homeboys his peace? Have you met his homeboys? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you got to start to question, like, who is these people that he's spending so much time with? Because let's be real, to spend as much time as dudes be spending with each other, you got to like each other. Like, you got to love each other. And when I used to be that homeboy, like, when we would depart, we always told each other we loved each other. Like, that's something, man, like, they fall in love. They fall in love. Like, men fall in love with their homeboys. And it just be like a matter of if they're gonna act on it. So you gotta see how they are with their homeboys, because that's typically what happens. Like, their homeboys are the people that they open up to. Those are the people that know the real them. Sometimes women get to see the real them, but I don't think so, especially not with a DL dude. A DL dude is gonna be so private. You're not gonna know much about him. You're gonna be with him and you're gonna feel like you don't know anything. You might, in that, we're talking about his homeboys, you probably won't know them. He probably won't tell you much. Like, he's going to keep a low profile because he doesn't want you to dig and find things out. Okay, so pay attention to that. And let me tell y'all, them fake hood ones, them fake hood dudes, them be the ones that really be deal, for real. Like, if a dude pretends to be hood in the streets, but then behind closed doors or in privacy, he's not the same person, ask yourself, if he's put on a persona for the streets, you don't think he'll put on a persona for you? Like, you're putting on a whole act. Like, you got to figure out, is your dude putting on a straight aesthetic? Because that's an aesthetic. Like, there's dudes that, even me sometimes, I might do some stuff that, or dress like a what people would consider like a hood dude, or like the N-word type stuff. Like, something like that. So, you gotta figure out your dude. That's why I say pay attention to the mannerisms. It's all in the mannerisms. Do he want to swap roles? Like, do he want you to kind of take over the man role, him be the less dominant role? Like, things like that. Are you in the back door? Because like I said, the whole back door thing, no straight man is going to want you down there. Like, No straight man. They're not. They're not. Like, let me tell you, they're not. Because for starters, women not even finna be into that as much as they're gonna want them to. As they're gonna want you to. So therefore, they're gonna have to go and get that somewhere else. Who else gonna be into that on a regular or for something to do, like, frequently? Another man. Do he want to be the little spoon when y'all cuddle? Like, he wants you to hold him? Yeah. Ask yourself why. Why do he want you to hold him at night? Why do he want to slide and wiggle his butt on you? Are you a man? You see how... pay attention to the mannerisms. It's always...
He is cracking me up with that. But, you know, he's got some truth, ladies. You know, if your man is wiggling his butt on you, it's kind of strange, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, a lot of people are into this, like, these couples now, the man and woman. The woman is putting on the strap to please her man. So gay dudes might be in trouble because women, these dildos, these women are willing to put on the dildo to keep their men in a relationship. I'm seeing it more and more. I promise you, it's wild. If y'all into that kind of stuff, knock yourself out. It is not for me. I'm not bending over my husband. My husband heard this, he would die. Like, my husband hates when I talk like this, but it's true. A lot of y'all men is liking that, and I seen it with my own little eyes. If that's what you like, more power to you. It's not for the kid though. Listen, y'all have an amazing day, and ladies, if you don't want a man that wants to wiggle his butt on you, you better start asking some questions. You better start doing some investigative reporting. This is it, and yeah, it's signing off. Y'all have an amazing day.